Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is for those who've scored below 80 percentile in CAT. So you know your CAT scores, you know your CAT percentiles now, and 80 percentile से कम है. ये video आपके लिए है. Already I've created videos for those who have scored above 90 and between 80 to 90. So these two videos I've already created. If you're somebody who's in that range, then do watch those videos. But if you are a general category student, again, let me remind you this thing, please. This video is for those who are general category students. I'm not creating this video for SCs, STs, OBCs, or anyone else. If you are a SC, ST, OBC, or any other category, if you want me to create a similar video or a set of videos for you, do share it with me in the comments. But in this, I'm talking only about general category. Let me specify that. So if you are somebody who's 80 and below, 80 below in general category, then this is what my advice to you is. Now, let me give you an intro of what I'll be sharing with you. Because this video is for those who have scored below 80 percentile in the general category in CAT, most of this video is going to be blanket advice, a generic advice, because in this section of percentile, I don't have a lot of scope to analyze it case by case, because अगर आपके 80 से कम है तो मेरे पास एक, I stand for one piece of advice on that, and when you'll watch this, you'll know what exactly I'm trying to say. So without wasting a lot of time, allow me to get started with the video. Now, this is what we're talking about, less than 80 percentile. Here is what I'll be speaking to you about. Let's understand what are some of the important factors which I will be speaking to you about. The first thing is important. Let us start to accept your relationship with CAT. कि exactly CAT में problem क्या हो रही है जिससे कि वजह से आप 80 percentile नहीं लेके आते हैं. What's the problem which you're facing in CAT because of which you're not scoring above 80 percentile in CAT? Now, a very clear indication or analysis, it is not even something which I have found out from my mystic powers or something. I don't have such things, but it's a very simple thing to understand that obviously if you're not even able to score above 80 percentile, then you are weak in at least two sections. Clearly, it could also be all the three sections, which also means that probably you've not studied well enough. Again, do not take offense to the fact that you are weak. Do not feel sad about this thing that, oh, I'm weak in this. No, it's just that, weakness is a lack of preparation. Weakness is a lack of strength. So you can easily build anything to be your strength or all of them. So that is the first thing which you need to know. And obviously, once you build your basics, then a test taking strategy is important, and how do you attempt the exam is important. I have so many videos on this. Now, the next thing, again, I always give you advice basis one very important factor, which is टाइम, कि आपको कैट क्रैक करने में कितना समय लग रहा है. नाउ इफ यू वॉच माई अदर टू वीडियोज, आई हैव ऑल्सो एक्सप्लेन दैट विद दिस थिंग इन माई माइंड दैट हाउ मेनी अटेम्प्ट्स यू आर इन. अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग, I would say, if this was your first attempt and you've scored below 80 percentile, I would easily say to you, please re-attempt. I've seen enough number of examples that their first attempts, the scores, the percentiles were very low in CAT. They were 50 percentile, 40, and they were able to score brilliant percentiles, were able to go to some of the best old and new IIMs. So definitely re-attempt. If you are in your second attempt, I will still say that अगर आपके second attempt में भी अगर 80 percentile नहीं, अगर 80 से नहीं percentile ज़्यादा आ पा रही है, आप please job में continue रहिए, continue working in your job. CAT is not an exam for which you need to leave your job. Give it another shot. Again, a lot of people might ask me that आप second attempt में भी re-attempt करने का क्यों कह रहे हो, उसमें क्या आपका कुछ personal interest है? ऐसा मेरे पास comment आते हैं. CAT is not an exam, CAT is not UPSC. You can re-attempt it even with a job. So even if in the second attempt you are somewhat around 70 percentile, I don't know, you can still give it a third attempt. It's no problem. In fact, there is a reason for that why I'm saying that, because in second attempt, my assumption is that you will be having 2 years of work experience. By the end of the second attempt, you will be having 2 years of work experience. 2 years of work experience. If you look at the academic criteria, admission criteria of most of the IIMs, 2 to 3 years of work experience is the sweet spot for work experience, which means दैट वर्क एक्सपीरियंस के जो मार्क्स होते हैं 100 में से, उसमें से मैक्सिमम मार्क्स आपको तब मिलते हैं जब आपका 2 से 3 साल का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है. तो आपको IIMs ही कह रहे हैं कि भैया आप कोई बात नहीं, आप तीसरे अटेम्प्ट तक दे सकते हो कैट. अंडरस्टैंड दैट थिंग. देयरफॉर आई विल क्विकली go back to this and say, even if you're in your second attempt, consider re-attempting it, but with a job, not without a job, please. In the third attempt, a very simple advice to you, and this is what it is. Even if in your third attempt, if this was your third attempt and if you've scored below 80 percentile in this, then I would just advise you to please move on, explore other paths. It's absolutely fine. Only 2 lakh aspirants appear for CAT. Only 1.5 lakh, 1 lakh students do MBA each year. The youth of this nation, उस सब में से सिर्फ 1 लाख स्टूडेंट ही MBA कर रहा है. It is not that only MBA is your route to success. You can find bigger success, and I'll be explaining what you can do. If I'm advising you to move on to other journeys, then in my 4th point over here, I am explaining what exactly you can do. Then, if you've scored between 80 to 90 percentile in your third attempt, then again, this becomes very subjective to you. You need to do a cost benefit analysis for yourself, which means what? कि आपकी existing salary कितनी है. अगर आप third attempt में हैं, मेरा obvious assumption है कि आपको 1 से 2 साल या 3 साल भी काम करते हुए हो चुके होंगे. You would be having at least 1 to 3 years of work experience. Find out what is the salary which you are already having. Find out what are the future prospects in your industry or in your own organization, and then evaluate it with the B schools you are being offered. 80 to 80 से 90 परसेंटाइल के बीच में बहुत वैरायटी ऑफ बी स्कूल्स मिलेंगे. अगर आप इफ यू स्कोर्ड अराउंड 88, देन उसमें थोड़े अच्छे बी स्कूल्स भी आ जाते हैं. तो हेंस दिस इज अ वेरी पर्सनल थिंग. इवैल्यूएट हाउ मच इज द एवरेज of that school, how much will it grow, how much have the alumni of that school grown from there. Very personal take. Do a cost and benefit analysis. Whereas if in your third attempt you've scored above 90 percentile, I would generally in 99% of the cases advise you to join the B school you are having in your hands. Obviously, some exceptions to this cases are what? If your salary already some 15 lakhs, suppose, if you're working at a very good quality company, it could even be a startup or it could be a corporate like the MBB or some other company. If your average is already 14, 15, 16 lakh, and if you know that the industry you are in, you have growth, you have exceptional growth scope in that industry, then again, you are among that exception जो कि 90 परसेंटाइल ला के भी जिसको ये CBA कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस करने की ज़रूरत है. तो ब्रॉड एडवाइस इज दैट 90 परसेंटाइल से आप अगर आपके थर्ड में हैं, थर्ड अटेम्प्ट में हैं आप, और अगर आप वाकई बहुत ईगरली MBA करना चाह रहे हैं, मेरी एडवाइस रहेगी आप MBA कर लीजिए, बिकॉज MBA के लॉन्ग टर्म इम्पैक्ट्स काफ़ी अच्छे रहते हैं. बट ऑब्वियसली अगर आपकी सैलरी अभी ऑलरेडी आपके B स्कूल से ज़्यादा है, बिकॉज ऐसा भी बहुत केसेस में होता है, देन ऑब्वियसली इट मेक्स नो सेंस. So evaluate this. Now from there, allow me to quickly move on to something else. From this itself, I will move on to this third statement, that if you're somebody who scored less than 80 percentile throughout in all of your attempts, be it first, 2 or 3, see, this is what the general advice which I was trying to say to you, that अगर आपके फाइनल अटेम्प्ट जो आपका लेटेस्ट अटेम्प्ट है उसमें अगर 80 परसेंटाइल से कम है, मैं जनरली किसी को भी 80 परसेंटाइल से कम के बी स्कूल में एडमिशन लेने की हिदायत वैसे भी नहीं देता हूं. आई जनरली डू नॉट गिव द एडवाइस टू टेक अप एडमिशन इन अ बी स्कूल विच इज एक्सेप्टिंग लेस देन 80 परसेंटाइल फॉर जनरल कैटेगरी. द रीजन फॉर दैट इज वेरी सिंपल. You are doing your MBA program with with a lot of aspirations, with a solid reason, and there is no reason for you to join a B school so low in the rankings. There is no reason for you. That MBA will not skyrocket you. In fact, that will take you 2 years behind. You will realize that यार 2 साल बाद भी मैं उसी किस्म की नौकरी में आया हूं जहां पे शायद मैं without MBA एक दो स्विच करने के बाद पहुंच जाता। तो जनरल एडवाइस ये है कि अगर आपके लेटेस्ट अटेम्प्ट में अगर आपको ये सब चीजें कुछ भी नहीं समझनी है, मान लीजिए इफ यू want to forget all of these things which I'm saying to you, then this is probably the only thing you can remember from this video, that अगर आप 80 परसेंटाइल से कम पे कोई बी स्कूल चूज करने की सोच रहे हैं, आप दोबारा इवेलुएट करिए, because there could be other paths which you could explore. Now allow me to quickly explain what are the other paths. I had to share my screen at this stage, so I was simply saying to you that even if you forget everything else which I've shared, then remember this one thing to you, that I generally don't advise you to take up B schools under 80 percentile. They'll only put you back in life. This is what I have to say to you. This is what I have to say to you, that think about your MBA in a very practical fashion. Think about where you want to be, and then think about how you can reach there, because a lot of this is important to hear if you're somebody who's not scoring above 80 percentile in CAT. Well, that's about it from my end. I hope you've got some clarity about this from this video. I'll see you somewhere else. I'll see you in the next video or inside my workshop. Stay tuned and goodbye.